But first, illegal immigration continues to be a problem in this country, and that's why civilian groups like the Minutemen have cropped up to help do whatever they can to seal the border. The group seems to be gaining mainstream recognition. Caltrans, the agency that oversees California's highways, recently gave the San Diego chapter of the Minutemen a new stretch of road to clean up for the Adopt a Highway program. The original stretch of road was near a border checkpoint, and that had some immigration activists up in arms. As a result, Caltrans changed their minds late yesterday for safety concerns and moved the group's adopted highway to a quieter, less visible state highway. So, who's playing politics? Let's check in with Jim Gilchrist. He's a founder of the Minutemen Project. And for some broader perspective, Mark Krikorian from the Center for Immigration Studies. Guys, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, what is going on here? Help me understand this.
It's simply the same problem the Minuteman Project has had since its inception 3.5 years ago. It's as much as a rule of law issue regarding the chaotic lack of enforcement of our immigration laws as it is a freedom of speech issue. And there are certain interests in the United States of America, including the Border Angels group, which is sponsoring this attack against the San Diego Minutemen, who want to stifle and suppress free speech. It's as simple as that. I think I'm standing behind the San Diego Minutemen and certainly will help them in their court proceedings to ensure that they have free speech like all Americans should have.
You know, they say, Mark, safety concerns. Help me understand what kind of safety concerns going out and picking up trash along the highway. You know, what is wrong with that safety concern? Well, I mean, you put a little vest on so the cars won't hit you. That's what normal people do when they're involved in this Adopt a Highway. But, you know, what do they think? They're going to be out there directing traffic? Come on.
Well, I mean, it's just an excuse. But the bad guys here really isn't Caltrans, the government bureaucrats. They're just kind of timid bureaucrats like most bureaucrats are, and they've been intimidated and cowed by these advocacy groups, by these open borders organizations. And when you look at the issue on its face, you might think, well, it's a little local issue. Why is it relevant for, you know, broader coverage? But it really does tell us something about the broader immigration debate, and that is that the open borders side doesn't want to have a debate. They essentially are bullying their way, attempting to bully their way into suppressing people's opinions, into delegitimizing, tainting anybody who opposes their views, just the way Senator McCain, for instance, did over the summer by calling his Senate colleagues who opposed his amnesty bill racists and xenophobes. It's the same kind of thing. When you have no arguments, call your opponents racists and xenophobes, and it's actually a sign, I think, that the pro-enforcement, pro-borders people are actually making progress because the other side is scared.
That's what it seems like. But Jim,
yes.
Do you see that Caltrans is possibly bowing to special interest groups in here?
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to give you a precise example of a sign that I feel is perhaps a racist sign. It's called La Raza Plaza, and I believe it's off Interstate 5 or Interstate 405 in downtown Los Angeles. La Raza Plaza. Now, I could make the argument that this is a racist, hostile, violent group. I want that sign taken down. I choose not to. That's La Raza's privilege.
Now, what's La Raza? Just for our viewers, tell us about La Raza.
La Raza and Mecha are, in my opinion, the largest organized racial supremacy group in the United States today. And if we're going to have a La Raza Plaza sign, what's next? A KKK Plaza sign? A Black Panther Plaza sign? This goes right to the heart of free speech. And like Mark Krikorian, God bless that guy, said, this is a bogus excuse by those opposed to immigration law enforcement to stifle free speech. It's as simple as that. It really is simple.
Yeah, Mark, you know, it sounds like it is. I mean, La Raza Plaza, you know, if in fact this group, you know, is as Jim says they are, what's the problem with the Minutemen? You know, some people say, oh, they're vigilantes. But the Minutemen, you know, some people say, well, they're a bunch of kooks. What do you say about that?
Well, I mean, look, Any large organization may well have some kooks here and there. There's no question about it. But Minutemen, for the most part, are civic-minded retirees with lawn chairs and walkie-talkies. I mean,
kind of like me in my neighborhood in the Kirkwood section of Atlanta.
Sort of neighborhood watch kind of folks.
Exactly.
That's all it is. The interesting point here, if we're talking about this issue of xenophobia and bigotry, is that obviously it exists on both sides of this debate. There's no denying that. But on the pro-control side, the pro-border side, the kooks and the racists are at the fringes. They're nuts, living in their mother's basements. On the open borders side, the racial chauvinism is right at the center and the leadership of the open borders movements. For instance, John McCain's Hispanic outreach director for his candidate is a Hispanic chauvinist who actually was a Mexican government cabinet official and is now advising John McCain. So frankly, this bigotry and chauvinism is in the driver's seat on the open border side of the debate. It's at the fringes at best in the pro-control side of the debate.
Well, speaking about bigotry, Jim, I've read that the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, has gotten involved in this campaign. What dog do they have in this fight?
Fundraising. Anti-Defamation League, like the Southern Poverty Law Center, are professional fundraising groups. And if they can proliferate hate by using people like Mark Krikorian in the Center for Immigration Studies or Jim Gilchrist's Minuteman Project as a target for their hate, they can raise millions of dollars.
Well, they monitor
from
hate groups.
donors.
They monitor hate groups. I mean,
they participate in encouraging and proliferating hate.
Well,
these are not groups that you want to you rely on for any valid information, nor is McCain's administer to whatever it is he's advising him for. I've been on debate with Juan Hernandez. He's a gentleman, certainly, but his agenda is identical to McCain's agenda and Giuliani's agenda, and that's to have open borders and no rule of law insofar as our immigration policy and an endless stream, and I mean endless, of millions upon millions of illegal aliens from all around the world coming in here.
Jim, I want to thank you. This is not the last. I'm sure we're going to hear this whole issue, and not the end of illegal immigration discussion. Jim, Mark, thanks.